Okay, we are live.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the June 25th meeting of the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any public comment this morning? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to commission comment. Commissioner Ford?
Okay, well, believe it or not, it's been kind of a busy week. Monday and a beautiful morning this morning too. It's probably going to the last one we have until fall. So enjoy it. Monday over the lunch hour, I attended my second meeting of the Manhattan Area Technical College Foundation Board. Had a pretty good turnout, great discussion. Some of the items we discussed was the continued facilitation of partnerships to help the college secure funding and other necessary resources moving forward, and to pursue grants and to garner more alumni and former student interaction as well. There's some software at play that can help put that data together, and we're certainly looking at that. We also discussed a better plan and help marketing and development, putting together a meeting and maybe using a consulting firm to help with that process too. So talking about maybe electing officers foundation. There's still some discussion on that, but then again, we'll meet again in August to discuss all those items. Tuesday morning came down to make a blood donation with American Red Cross. Certainly glad to see these blood drives are once again here at the chambers. Pretty convenient for me. Got out in and out quickly as usual. Using the rapid pass you can do online makes that a whole lot easier as well. And soon they'll let me know where that donation went and where it was received when that time comes. Tuesday afternoon, I attended the Kansas Employment Exploration Program tour. There was a moderated panel discussion there with some city and school district officials at the technical college. Done this a few times throughout the years, including last year. This program welcomes transitioning service members and families, connects them with employers and resources from around the region, including Riley County, as they move on from military service into civilian careers. Took some time to answer some questions and kind of explain all Riley County has to offer, and hopes of finding some great and experienced talent and keeping them in the area. That's probably also important. Tuesday afternoon, I attended the June meeting of the board of directors with Pawnee Mental Health after our usual pre-meeting of the Finance Oversight Committee to get update with financials and the 27 budget for them. Jumped right into the general meeting with some introductions of new staff and welcomes. Heard an individual placement program update from Jana Berry, Chief Financial Officer's report from Lindsay Miller, as well as a Finance Oversight Committee report detailed in that. Mike Riskella gave his usual Chief Executive Officer's report, as well as a Marketing and Development report as well. We finished the meeting with an updated Pawnee Mental Health organizational chart. As you know, they're growing due to CCBHC events. And then Tuesday evening, stopped by to check out the open house that was provided. Information for the 24 corridor management study. It's taking place for Riley and Potawatomi counties. The open house had KDOT project team members and others that were available to answer questions, provide information, garner public input of all that will help the management plan evaluate the 32-mile span and options for future enhancements along that corridor. Wednesday, listen in on the Council of Foreign Affairs webinar titled Ebola Update in the State of Outbreak Preparedness. It's been a while since I've actually been invited to one of these, or maybe they haven't been doing them and just started back again. I'm not for sure. They're always educational and informative. Stephanie Saki, Senior Fellow for Global Health and National Security at the CFR, as well as Michael Osterholm, Director of the Center of Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota, provided updates on current infectious diseases, including Ebola and the virus, and also discussed the ground state and local preparedness to respond to these threats and other threats potentially in the future, and come up with some practical implications for officials and their constituents. Had a brief question and answer session that followed. Kind of ran a little bit long, I guess, maybe. Wednesday afternoon, I listened in to the National Association of Counties and the National Association of Home Builders webinar called Collaborative Leadership Leads to Housing for All. Supervisor Laura Capps from Santa Barbara County and Commissioner Bill Truix from Charlotte County, Florida, discussed and highlighted how county leaders continue to work on shared solutions and collaborative spirit to address housing challenges in their communities and beyond. And that's all I've got.
Okay, Commissioner McKinley.
All right. Well, Tuesday afternoon was the special law board meeting. Been in the news. I think probably everybody knows. We approved an amended contract for Director Pete to end his contract at the end of this year and allowing him to move to Topeka for the rest of the year. Wednesday was the Flint Hills Adibus meeting.
There it is.
Main purpose with this one was just to go over the budget, to review the budget for next year, going through the line items. We had a really good discussion about all the different phases of the budget and just reviewing everything. And then we'll get some more information. The final approval will be at our July meeting. But then after the meeting, we ended up having a long discussion solving everybody's problems.
Wow.
So we started with the Green Valley Incorporation, data centers, the K-State Foundation's development, NIL, and other problems with college sports. We got off track a little bit. We had a good discussion. It was interesting. And I did get a comment from the Gary, the Pot County Commissioner, because he'd been here to donate blood. And said it's really looked nice. Good.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, and I intended to do that KDOT meeting, except I had it. I thought it was Wednesday night, and then I saw the news. Wednesday they were talking about it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I showed up there at 4:30, so it wasn't really busy at that point in time. I know Evan was there too. I'm assuming that it got a little bit busier later when everybody got off work. I'm assuming.
Okay, well, let's see. Monday, I attended the intergovernmental luncheon at Rocky Caves Event Space. It was a presentation on the 24 highway expansion, but it was by the
MPO,
Yeah,
Jerry.
MPO. That afternoon, I was supposed to go to solid waste management meeting, but wasn't feeling well, so.
I guess the internet's not.
Tuesday came to the office, visited with Jacob Hansen for a brief time. And then went to some of the other offices in the other building. Later that day, we had a special law board meeting in the conference room of the courthouse plaza. And Greg covered it well. Wednesday, let's say I had some contractors come to work at the house, and then I went over to be a quick Christie to get an injection. Couldn't get it done because of the mix up with the billing codes between the doctor's office and the hospital. So I went over to the doctor's office and they finally got it worked out. So they're going to have to reschedule it. So lots of fun. Tuesday and Wednesday spent time going over the agenda and documents for today's meeting. Continued to review data from the health department investigation.
It's the year.
It's slowly. I don't know how you ever did it even a couple months.
Very carefully.
Anyway, Wednesday evening I did go out to the Keats community meal, and it was a smaller crowd than normal, but food as usual just wonderful. So, and people are great. So that's all I have.
For business commissioners, first item I have is need a motion on the resolution modifying rates for water usage in Hunters Island Water Benefit District.
Move to approve resolution 062526, modifying the rates for water usage in the Hunters Island Water Benefit District.
One second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 062526, modifying the rates for water usage in the Hunter Island Water Benefit District. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Three, please, son. Need a motion to approve a resolution modifying rates for sewer usage in the Deep Creek Sewer Benefit District.
Make a motion to approve the resolution modified rates for Deep Creek.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution modifying rates for sewer usage in the Deep Creek Sewer Benefit District. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All three, please sign.
That is the same resolution now.
Well, they fill in the number after it. I feel-
Yeah, next I need a motion on a resolution modifying the rates for sewer usage in the Terra Heights Sewer Benefit District.
I'd move to approve the resolution modifying rates for sewer usage in Terra Heights Sewer Benefit District.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded to approve the resolution modifying rates for sewer usage in the Terra Heights Sewer Benefit District. All in favor?
Aye.
All three, please sign. Commissioners need a motion on a resolution appointing Riley County representatives to the Economic Development Advisory Board and resolution and letter.
Okay. I'll make a motion to sign a letter and approve resolution 062526. Resolution appointing Riley County representatives to the Rural Economic Development Advisory Board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign a letter and approve resolution appointing Raleigh County representative to the Rural Economic Development Advisory Board. All in favor?
Aye.
All three, please sign.
My resolution that these storms don't fill it 3 in the morning. You think we can do that?
Yeah, I don't think Mother Nature accepts resolutions.
That certainly would be nice. My dog wakes me up every time. Oh,
Yeah, I woke up with big loud thunder this morning, but
yeah, well,
peered out the window. It's like, oh, it's raining. Go figure.
well, I had the window open a bit and it's down by the creek. You hear it louder.
Next, Commissioners need a motion on Riley County Employee Action Form, Brent Floyd, Utility Tech, Public Works
Department, Separation of Service. Hayden Hippel, new hire, intern, ITGIS. Vanessa Gray, new hire, Public Information Officer, Clerks Department. Ellie Gall, new hire, volunteer firefighter, Fire District number 1. Elliot Reed, new hire, volunteer firefighter, Fire District number 1.
I move to approve the Riley County action forms.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the Raleigh County Employee Action Forms. All in favor?
Aye.
All three, please sign.
Oh, Jacob, do I need to add that? Do we need to add that to the agenda about that bus agreement or not?
I wouldn't say it's not necessary.
Okay.
Bless you.
I reviewed the
Okay, I just wanted
bylaws.
to make sure it's doing it right.
Yeah, I can understand. And I would say the reason why is you're there as a board member of that board, not necessarily a direct representative of Riley County.
Well, I just wasn't sure they wanted to
Yeah,
be clear on it.
I can understand.
Right out there, said, sign it.
Okay, Commissioner, need a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable.
Make a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve payroll and accounts payable for June 26, 26. All in favor?
All three, please sign.
place in it.
Yep. I got my folks working on it.
Not- Keep me updated. I'm
Mhm.
not sure where that is exactly.
I'll let you know. They went ahead and told me, so.
Yeah, any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
I didn't know anything.
Mm-mm. I'm gonna make a motion then to approve the minutes as written from the June 22nd meeting of the Riley County Commission.
Second,
Actually moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the June 22nd meeting as presented. All in favor?
And agendas look okay, commissioners? Any items for next week's press conference? Okay, next commissioners, you have Amanda Webb at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
your wreck on I-70, that
Did
went off.
not.
Muncie County guy went off the road and flipped and ended up in the river or creek or something.
Oh, really?
And my nephew and his wife was right after it happened, and they had helped get him out of there. He didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't?
Yeah, I heard that.
And- Cause she posted, I thought I was strong. I just saw something I'm not. Cause
Yeah, that's why people a lot of times need, to talk to someone after that, and especially people that do that all the time.
he got up. He could have probably lifted the car up off of the guy, my
Really?
nephew. He's-
Uh-huh.
But they said we got him out of the car, but brought CPR. No ambulance got there, there wasn't.
Yeah.
And she just commented,
Yeah.
that's something you want to see.
Mhm.
Luckily, they didn't have any kids with them.
Yeah, for sure. Not something you wanna see, that's for sure. That's too bad. All the way around.
See, I saw it on the news this morning. The Jan said, well, did you see it? That Brooke had posted something last night. I'd already seen that. She said,
Hmm, that's horrible.
yeah.
That's horrible.
Yes, that's something. There's been court case. First state.
Now, remember, it's not.
Yes.
Well, how you doing?
How are you, Rich?
Good, good. Getting close to the weekend.
Yeah. That's good, but how much burning they've been doing.
Fort Riley, apparently quite a bit.
But all the limbs have been hauled out there.
That's a good question. I
Hmm.
bet a good amount.
Probably still a little wet though. Burn, I don't know.
Maybe.
I know that people, they let people cut firewood.
Mm.
So that's, maybe they leave it set there till people.
There's a
chop out
couple spots
something.
still in my neighborhood. There's still trees out by the curb.
Are there?
Yeah. They're getting to it. It takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, some of them have a lot more than others.
On the paper, it said they're still working
Yeah.
this week. Trying to get it all cleaned up. That was, like I said, that was a mountain.
I bet.
Yeah.
That was some pretty wild weather, and not even just at one point, it was multiple times. And yet we get to have one later today.
What they're saying. Maybe another chance on Saturday and then it's summer. Just like that. Boom. 95.
Fantastic. At least it's supposed to be nice weather tomorrow. Nice. Tomorrow I am officially getting married. So we're not doing the actual like signing of the marriage license or anything like that. Gonna do that with Judge Larchick on next Friday.
Oh,
So, but we're still doing our ceremony and reception thing tomorrow.
good.
Yeah.
Congrats, it's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Great. Where's the menu?
Liquid art.
Mm,
Okay, cool.
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a fan of that place.
We went to a wedding out there once a couple years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
spot.
I've not been to it.
In December, it snowed. So they were planning on having it outside. We had it
Oops.
inside. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, no, that's not, that's
I
not.
thought it could have been cold and it was one of those early.
Oh, yeah.
The temperature dropped like crazy and snowed and they went down.
No.
Change of plans.
Everybody just put on their coats and hats and gloves.
Up there on that hill, if there's any wind, boy, that'd be rough.
Yeah, it would. It would.
And I've seen. This was in. Yesterday's paper. They said. City had taken 330 loads.
Yeah,
To
I
the
heard
transfer
that.
station. And they said that doesn't include what's been out by Wildcat Tree, because they've been
Mhm.
too.
My God.
I'll tell you what, I'll give the city kudos on that because one of my daughters over in Virginia and they had a bunch and they rake it up, they clean it up. When they pick it up, they do a good job. They do a really good job.
Yeah.
It's not
When
just
you have
drive by,
back-
pick it up.
Which way is it now?
throw
You
it
have
in.
back-to-back
They're doing a
storms
really
like
good
that,
job.
it's
just
not
down
gonna
button?
Yeah.
take a
just
day
on
to
there.
complete.
right there.
It.
All right, figure it out.
It will take them a
few
good
big
month.
ones across streets. So I just took mine, so they didn't have to get both sides.
Uh-huh.
One pile across the street.
Yeah.
Make it easier for them.
It's funny, before all that weather happened, I went and bought a chainsaw because I got a house. And boy, that was the very good buy.
Mm.
Turns out.
Okay.
Okay, well, good morning, Commissioners. I am Kirk Crabtree with the Rural Economic Advisory Board, here with your quarterly review for June of 2026. As many of you know, when you all
approved the Rally Together Comprehensive Plan last year. We really beefed up the economic development chapter of that plan. And as a board, we decided, this can't be a plan that just gets stuck in a binder, put on a shelf, and collects dust. We wanted to be a very kind of a board of action, if you will. May or may not know, we meet monthly. We have a very diverse board of both business leaders and concerned citizens throughout the county as part of the board, with the charge of giving you all either policy recommendations or just kind of the economic development vibe within the county, so that you all have that information. So just here for that quarterly update. In the end, we spent the beginning of the year kind of slogging our way through the comprehensive plan and trying to kind of get our feet under us of what do these actions look like. So we came up with basically 3 big ideas for 2026 for the remainder of the year. Number 1, communities awareness of the Riley County Together Plan, business engagement with businesses, especially in the rural and small cities, rural area and small cities. And of course, you can't talk economic development without talking about housing. So to that end, communities awareness of Riley County Together. Despite everyone's best efforts to get the word out about the comprehensive plan and the 20-year plan for the county, there are of course people that don't religiously follow these meetings and aren't engaged as maybe they should be as citizens. So to that end, we made the decision that our board would go out and make sure that the citizens of the county knew about this comprehensive plan. Of course, the first step was identify, who do we need to talk to, both in the small city and in unincorporated areas, the official and unofficial leadership. So not only the councils, not only, the officials, but also kind of those unofficial centers of influence that are in any community or any grouping of people, the business leaders, etc. We decided that we would try to have town hall meetings, just awareness meetings of the comprehensive plan, and especially our part, the economic development chapter of the comprehensive plan. And with the goal being, we're going to try to hit each small city by the end of the year, and then have some meetings both in the northern unincorporated area and the southern, the boot and the toe, if you will, of Ronnie. And examples of those type of groups, the Leonardville Business Association, which we've already spoke to. We've already been in contact, I believe, with every official government council that is within our county, and then other organizations like Riley Pride, etc. So goal number 1 was basically just the awareness of both the comp plan and of what the REDAB was doing. Business engagement, our second goal, it says goal number 1 because in the plan, this is labeled as goal number 1. First and foremost, our own cowboy poet laureate, Ron Wilson, had the great idea of, recognizing those business leaders in the county and in the small cities. So we, with Amanda and her office, came up with what we call the Ruralpreneur Program, where we will come before you all quarterly basis and basically just do a simple proclamation or, some type of certificate for a business leader or an entrepreneur in one of the small cities or in the rural area that has really exemplified growth, entrepreneurship, innovation, and community engagement. We are hoping that we'll have the first one, I believe, the last Monday meeting of July. Yep. So you'll see that. Also working with Cindy for all the logistics of what all that looks like, but you'll see that. In addition, putting together just very basic workshops for small business people and entrepreneurs in the small cities and the unincorporated areas, basically having local business leaders come in and talk to small business owners, kind of in a mentorship, but also perhaps just in a lunch and learn. Still putting this together, but we already have people, just some examples, Mr. Dryling, Wade Redina, we really wanted to have local business leaders talk to local small business owners and entrepreneurs. Not bring in a consultant, not bring in somebody fancy from Kansas City or something like that, but just local business leaders that have scaled, local business leaders that have gone through the process, being able to talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs in the rural areas to get all that done. And then, of course, partnerships and connecting Innovate 24 out of the chamber. We do have a local regional director from the Secretary of Commerce's office that is willing to come down and help us out. And of course, the Make My Move, which we've all talked about, which has actually so far been a great success. And we're really excited about that. And another, because I'm also a Rotarian, the REDAB has a potential to partner with one of the Rotary groups here in town together to do one of these lunch and learns. So getting out there with other organizations, because as we all know, we're all volunteers. And so everybody that can help out, we would love that. And then, of course, can't talk economic development without talking housing. Goal number 2 in the comprehensive plan for the REDAB is expand housing incentives to support workforce and rural housing. One of our first goals within that is to offer awareness and support to the small cities and unincorporated areas for using the Kansas Housing Assessment Tool. This assessment tool is a necessity for anyone that asks the state. Pretty much anytime you ask the state for housing money, the state will come back and ask, okay, well, have you done an assessment? Like, oh, didn't know we needed to do that. So the REDAB will be reaching out to the small cities to offer support on doing those. We helped with Ogden's last year, and we will be reaching out to the other small cities to help them out. Also hosting a roundtable to address challenges to building workforce in rural housing. The thought that came out of this was we've had, and you all have seen and been a part of, numerous housing roundtables and housing exploration committees, etc. This one, we wanted to talk specifically with the builders and the bankers and be like, okay, what is the challenge to build an affordable housing? We already have commitments from 4 of the local builders or developers here in the area for this roundtable. Still working on getting some commitments from the financial side, but basically to have them all in one room, kind of express what they feel are the challenges to building workforce housing or affordable housing in our area. And then that is the type of feedback that we can bring to you all when we say, hey, this policy is working. And great, let's keep doing that. That works, keep piling on that. Or, hey, what the feedback we're getting from the builders and the financial people is maybe we need to look at this. That's our job to you all. That is our charge to you all. So this is a way of doing that on the housing front. That's what I've got for this quarter. Like I said, we will hopefully be seeing you all at the end of July to present our Ruralpreneur certificate award. Still working on the wording of that. But to bring someone from the rural area or small city that really exemplifies, those areas of growth-minded innovation, entrepreneurship, and especially community-minded, just to bring awareness to, yes, it's out in the rural areas, there is economic development happening, and those are the type of people that are doing it. Any questions?
Yeah, will you bring back, when you set up these events, let us know what's.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We have to. Amanda's required to tell you what we're doing. However, of course, yeah, we would love to have y'all in attendance, or at least to know about it. I will, and this is the same caveat I said to another official member in the area, was at least at the beginning, these are feedback for this. So we also want to make sure that if y'all are there and if, let's say a builder says, well, we can't build because of X. And y'all are like, okay, you're completely wrong because you didn't read the policy or you didn't read the ordinance or whatever. If that's not understood in that example, if that builder doesn't understand how something works, that's the feedback we want. So then we can say, hey, maybe we need more awareness about this. Maybe we need a better explanation to the builders about this thing. We don't want anyone in an official capacity to come in and kind of like give all the answers, if you will. We want to see what the perceived challenges are, what the actual challenges are. Then we could say, oh, maybe it's an awareness issue on our part. The policies weren't explained well enough. Or the system itself for getting an incentive or something like that, maybe too cumbersome. The builders are, well, I'm not going to do that. Or maybe it works fine. Maybe the builders are like, hey, we love this. Okay, cool. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah, we don't want to shut them off before they.
Exactly.
understand.
Yeah. Any other questions? Just going around the table.
No.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Robust job this quarter of
Thank you.
having some insight and putting some things together to move forward. Appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you.
Mr. Hanson, 9:15.
Brittany, if I were going to tell somebody to write a check out of the county clerk's office, what would the address be?
The address?
Yeah.
One,
Would it just be the clerk's office or does it need to go somewhere else?
you could. Yeah, just one time courthouse plaza. Leave our office number as B182.
Okay.
But yeah, even if they made it out, county clerk's office, one time courthouse plaza, the mail usually gets it sorted.
Copy that. Thank you.
And you feeling kind of at home with all this rain we've had this year, know.
Jacob?
Yeah.
All right, good morning, Commissioner Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor here. I got a couple points to discuss with you all for administrative session. First, I have the point of the Senate Bill 384. I continue to speak with our lobbyists in order to get prepared to have that sunset provision. This is the criminal nuisance abatement legislation. I'm sorry. Obviously, we're seeking to have either the sunset extended or ideally removed entirely. So we're working through. I've presented kind of what we've done so far in utilizing the statute. In fact, Michael, he should be bringing to you guys relatively soon a resolution or order to allow the actual cleanup of one property that we have. So we'll have a scenario essentially of, hey, we've utilized the full process of this. We're at least guaranteed to have that by the time we come and talk with the legislature. And I think we have a pretty compelling story in order for them to allow us to continue on. I have opened up the conversation in a recent CLE with other county councilors across the state, saying if if any of their counties are interested in that law and would want to see it in their own counties, to talk with me, and we can maybe help get that across for all the counties.
Refresh my memory. Sedgwick and Crawford are the other two that have it.
That's
correct?
my understanding.
Okay.
And we haven't looked yet, but our lobbyist said that they weren't certain if the Sedgwick County law had a sunset in it as well, and if they are, when they're looking to have that discussion. And if they do, and if it happens to be the same year, which would be helpful,
Thought it
we'll
was.
probably
Yeah.
join forces with them in order to get that
I think
passed.
it is. They had it
Okay.
3 years before us, and then they renewed or had them,
Extended for another 3.
yeah, for another 3, and then Crawford came on along with us.
Yeah.
I
That is
remember it
correct.
right.
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah. So things look to be, I think, going well. We're starting to really talk and collaborate on getting that accomplished. And that's obviously for me, one of my larger goals for the upcoming legislative session, for obvious reasons. And just a reminder, the cases, we've had a total of 8 cases, a number of them that have been prosecuted. We're about to prosecute another one. Most of them have resulted in diversion agreements, and people have been complying with those diversion agreements. So what we're finding out is that thankfully it's not absolutely necessary that we go to the fullest extent that the law allows us, but to have it there as the stick, if you will, is enough of a persuasive tactic.
Mm.
So any questions as far as that bill, what we've done, any cases? Nope. Okay. Next, I wanted to talk briefly. Monday, I will have before you during my administrative time a resolution authorizing eminent domain within the Deep Creek Sewer Benefit District. This is for an access path that we've been using, we have used since 2010, but unfortunately recently have been disallowed. So we're going to seek to have that done so that we can continue to maintain folks' lagoon out there and make sure they have a functioning sewer system. Without the ability to do that, not only would it affect their sewer system, but they will be liable for fines from KDHE for not being in compliance. There are many issues, and there's great public need to have this this piece of land condemned. So that'll be on your plate on Monday. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask, or I'm happy to talk about it. So
That's for the easement. So-
yes, it's just for an access path, nothing else. It's temporary, 30-foot. We're looking for basically a 30-foot piece of land, strip of land on the very edge of a few individuals' property. Next, I wanted to bring up to you the resolution for A&H Farms and MHK Brewing for the alcohol sales. I've gone ahead and drafted that resolution. I've sent it to A&H and both MHK Brewing for their input and review. If you recall, essentially we're creating a second area in which alcohol sales will be allowed to happen at the Riley County Fair. And we are also allowing all types of alcohol beverages. It was restricted to just beer, but my understanding is that we're opening it up for all types. So that's what the resolution accomplishes. And once I hear back from them, I will look to have that in front of you guys soon. Good. The next point I have for you all is the tax sale tomorrow. Obviously, that's a relatively big deal. Yes, it is tomorrow. Everything's been going smoothly. Any homes that have been occupied are off of, at least as far as we are aware, are off the tax sale. All have been redeemed. I believe there's one home remaining, although it is in pretty poor condition. The rest are not. So things are going well. I think we're going to be able to do it without any issue, and hopefully we'll be able to sell all the properties as is necessary. So
What time does that start?
that is a good question. I believe it's 10. I'm lucky enough that I have let Michael and Jana head this thing off as opposed to myself since last year. So
I
Oh,
just
well, it'll be
looked
at the-
Public.
yep, it'll be up at the Public Works building in the basement. That's where we have had it last year, and I believe the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it'll be in the same place, and we'll be there. I'll be there to make sure everything goes well.
Yeah, they're really interesting to go to.
They can be. Yeah. Last year was interesting.
How many properties? Yeah.
That's a good question. Honestly, I couldn't tell you, Michael, if you're listening, if you want to swing down here and let us know, I would be happy, or you can text me, whichever. I know a lot of like the Ogden Trail holdings. There was a lot of
We still work on those?
no. So those were all sold last year.
Okay.
So I think a lot of those pieces of property are not on our list. So I think it should be a significant amount less, but
There's
I
a
am-
few left, huh?
say again.
There's a
Yeah,
section left probably.
there might be.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll wait 4 or 5 years, and I imagine I wouldn't be surprised if any of them ended back up
Come back.
on the list. So, any other questions on the property tax sale?
Did Ogden end up buying some of those or not?
They did, but I think the last couple of years,
I don't think they
due to
did
city
this year.
budget, I think the last 2 years they haven't.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember, they take on the specials on that, and that goes
Right.
on the city budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the specials, whether it's owner or
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
Yeah.
Glad I got. caught in
It
that.
constitutes a very large portion of their city budget, I do believe.
One of the last points I want to make real quick is you might have overheard that our county clerk Richard Varga has been subpoenaed for trial between the Secretary of State's office and the League of Women Voters of Kansas. They have a trial in mid to late July, so we'll get to take a trip to Topeka. And hopefully we won't be there too long, but the trial's set for a week, and they also have an extra 2 days for spillover if it ends up being that long. There was summary judgment motions that were ruled on just recently, so this thing is about assured as it can be. I really doubt the parties are going to settle, so it's going to move forward, and that's what we anticipate. So we're looking forward to getting that one done, I think. And then lastly, commissioners, I just wanted to let you all know that I'm planning to be out of office Wednesday and Thursday next week.
Okay.
So anything else I can answer? Okay. Thank you, commissioners.
Commissioner, you have Mr. Meyer at 9:35. Let's go. Good. How's Michelle? Great.
Yeah, how's your foot doing? Ankle? Yeah? Is that I can't tell if that's sarcasm.
Another question to ask, see if we get great again.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's still mad at me. He's still mad at me.
Look, when I pulled it up here, there's only 35.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
Wow.
the fewest they've had in.
Well,
I've been here,
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is. Yeah.
Well, I think the interesting.
And I know that Ogden once inflated the numbers, but even play apart from that, we having more. Of course, they were kind of catching up because they hadn't done them for a while.
Right.
I think, and they were trying to catch up. Part of
Yeah.
that.
Which, I must have missed that. What day is it at sale?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
10 a.m.
I want to say it is 10 a.m. Okay. Shout it out to me. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, you guys.
Listening.
Janet,
Oh, yeah.
I was reading a funny thing. You got 26 if my math's correct.
Oh.
One house that we have no indication anyone's living in. I see no indication it's anyone could live in it.
Yeah.
That 100 one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that,
Seen the pictures.
yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, like kind of probably mice.
Well,
Yeah.
nice snakes and raccoons.
Possum or
Might be a good
two.
one to buy up and tear down and turn into affordable house.
If I remember last year, there were probably around 90, 80 to 90 properties. So, but I think we were also pleasantly surprised that all of them got bought. I don't know if that was necessarily common because, well, last year was the first year that I got to do them. But my understanding was it's not unusual that if some just aren't bought.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you.
They're crossed out of here, so I mean, they got their names back in order or whatever. This is redeemed.
Yeah.
Out of the clock, basically.
Yeah, that they paid their taxes, their owed taxes.
I think this is incorrect here on these notes. Says you need 2 acres for a septic system.
Yeah.
And that was 1.4.
Well, it was
That's
two.
what it was with Keats. It was all, none of them were 1.4.
Yeah.
So I don't know unless Raleigh itself has a,
I don't know. Top of my head.
well, there's notes on here, so maybe that should be corrected.
Yeah, well, let me,
1.4. Let's call Amanda. She would know how to do it. I'm pretty sure it's 1.4. We don't correct.
I'll send an email out real quick.
That would make a difference.
I'm not sure some of those aren't even 1.4. I don't know. Oh, those lakeside height things that there's some of them at a time.
This is Randolph
Right.
County, I guess they want to look into that.
Okay. All right. I'll have an answer hopefully relatively soon.
Maybe that's just that development.
It may have been. May have been.
Randolph has a big lagoon, it's a double.
Well,
You know,
all
I
right.
don't know if that's what.
yeah. So why then couldn't, unless it's. a
Well, but it's
specific-
just because it's a Randolph address doesn't mean it's in Randolph.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm. Bridgeview Heights. That's not in,
It's not-
and there's always a string of those.
Yeah,
A couple of people have been buying up a bunch of them, trying to
Yeah.
get them all put together.
that is true. Right. Yeah, Bridgeview Heights, that's the one that's off of Tuttle near Randolph.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that, that's not right.
Imagine those. The ones that are Edgar Trust, those are gonna be, those are brand new, right? So those are gonna be pretty. Pretty solid.
They might be. They definitely might.
Yeah, you put them all together, you have something. Why, they're cheap to buy in those amounts.
Yeah. It is pretty I remember a specific scenario last year where there were 2 individuals that were battling it out and they would just do $1 at a time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And it's just like, come on, guys.
That was a couple of years ago, I was at one. And we were doing that. It is fun to go listen to it.
Yeah.
Then you try to figure out who's doing what.
Yeah. We had the individual from the Riley County Police Department. He did it for the first time last year. I think we're gonna have the same guy. So he did a good job last year for it being his first time. So
There's Putnam City.
Except one.
City, it's number 6. It's Bottle City.
Hmm.
Bottle City.
Yeah, that, well, I just give you one guess who had they own both pieces on each side of it.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
And um, publicize what the deal is there, but I'm sure I know who will get that.
The Ames, where is it at? Goheen Circle?
Goheen, that's over in Grand Mirror area.
Oh, okay, that's what.
Yes, I can.
Those specials are really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be Grand Mirror.
It would be Grand Mirror. Well, the original lots up there, Grand Mirror don't have specials. The original subdivision,
Yeah,
but the ones that were bought up later.
I imagine some of them who buy it probably just pay it all
And that was the way it was subdivided originally. Yeah. So I worked for Schultz when they were.
They're good.
with that,
Huh. How long has been Grand Mirror been a thing?
It was 19, 18, 19.
Well, it's been way longer than
Long.
that.
Well, when I came to work for Roger, it was a
Um,
developed, and there was a developer and they're trying to.
Culver Hills went out in the late nineties, I would say early 2000s. That's one of the first.
Cause I worked for them started in 2020 and we did the founders bills. Those are the very first one of housing, the first ones that came up. And they sat there for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say early 2000s.
Okay.
I started the housing developments right as they were.
Well, wait a minute, it wasn't 220, it was 2000. when I came in.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 2000, 2001.
2000, because I was there.
My family was living over in the Warner Park area and gosh, those ranches been there longer than that.
Mhm.
They were just starting that.
And Highland area was the first one.
I think that first roundabout up there went in 98 or 99.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was, yeah, that's why I'm so bad.
it was part of those first ones. They did 3, they did one there, and then was it down on Morrow or Laramie, one of those. And then there was another one down.
Oh, that one on Laramie, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's just. And there's no reason for it, really. 2000, because the site was, the whole area of Culver Hills, originally they said they weren't gonna do specials on any of it, they'd all be paid for, but it didn't work out that way.
Shocking. That didn't sound good.
lawnmower.
No, it was a car. Might not be for much longer.
Didn't sound too good. Okay, Corey.
All right. Good morning, Commission. Corey Meyer, ITGIS Director here for a staff update. Start off with some information in regards to the way budget and prices are going. Where I'm gonna start at. As I've reported when I did my budget presentation, that we're seeing some very fluid numbers in things and the way costs are going. So here's an example of where things have gone already, and it's happened faster than it expected. In January, I purchased 2 servers, $45,000 total costs for the 2. Before budget time in April, I had those quoted again to get an idea where the numbers were, and they were 54,000 with a special pricing that I was given that brought them down from 78,000. Last week, I had them quoted again and they're already at $95,000 for the same two servers, same exact specs. I brought them down to Brittany yesterday to show her that this is the current environment that we're in and the situation that we are starting to struggle and battle with. So of course, budget will be, I will be combing and going through it with a fine tooth comb, trying to do everything I can. This is why I spoke specifically to the server line that I put in my 2027 budget, and I put 100,000 in there thinking that would be enough. I don't know. I just don't know. I will work hard and close with Brittany when we get into that time, but servers are something that I will hold to, and I will not run past the end of warranty date. We just can't. They're too critical. We might do that with laptops. We do it with laptops. We do it with desktops. We do it with some of those equipment that, you know, their costs are $800,000-$900,000. We can extend the life on, we can replace with what we have as an inventory, but a server is too mission critical for what we do day to day. So, I was trying to start with the bad news and we'll move to the good news thing, but that is a little bit of a look at where we're going. Yeah. So I don't know what 2027 brings. I really don't. I will have quotes run again end of summer, early fall, and see where the pattern is going. But that is my plan, is that every 3 months I'm going to quote, see where we are.
I've been around business.
Yeah. Sure. And if you asked me why, I would answer it in one word, and that's data center.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it?
Data center is,
using the same type of
they are
food.
going up so quick and they need so much equipment and so much compute power that the suppliers now control the price market on them because they can't keep up with the demand. So they're setting the prices as high as they want them, and it doesn't matter. They're paying whatever they set the cost at. And they're driving the cost of anything that has compute power in it. So processor, storage, memory, and that's where it's going. So I will watch closely. I will work closely. I will be Brittany's new best friend on a regular basis to see where we go with these things in the conversations as they go forward.
How long does it take to get them then?
Right now, it depends on if they have them on shelf.
Oh, they do have some.
Or if they do not, then production, and it will take 3 months to get one. Current production
I wonder if
time
it'd
to
be
get one.
years, the way things are going, that should be a lot
Yes.
worse than that.
Yeah, and it just varies from one time to the next. And now my quotes are only good for 15 days.
15?
Yeah, I have to be able to purchase
That's
it.
that's about the lifeline of things data center.
Yeah.
Equip. They're changing that quickly.
Yeah, so that's why it would be important that I have monies available. You know, by the time I would be able to get it on an agenda and come back in and ask for money approval on it, that'll be gone. So, that will be the juggling act for the rest of this year and into 2027. So I am working with Brittany on some things to do maybe with my budget this year. We will be in need of replacing 2 servers next year. And so we're in discussions of what we might do this year and then next year to try to soften those costs a little and hopefully not get in a situation where 2 servers next year costs us 125 or 150,000. I don't know. Yeah, it's the current environment we've got to deal with. So on some other notes, our migration off of VMware to Hyper-V is going well. Again, as a reminder that it was a cost savings because of the cost being driven up by Broadcom using VMware. That's our virtual server environment. The EM remodel is our day-to-day focus right now. We brought the building up online yesterday on the network. We're out installing cameras and access points starting today going forward. It's our understanding the furniture will be installed on the 29th and 30th. So once the furniture is set, then we will begin to put in their computer, their equipment at their desks, get their Xerox and so forth delivered. I'm being told that they're shooting for the 2nd. They're saying the 3rd, we're closed the 3rd, so our goal is to have them fully functional and ready on July 2nd. Ready Systems is out there now installing everything in the conference room, much like here, panels to control and so forth within there. And then we are working on getting all their doors, their reader access doors online as well. So those are the pieces we're working on with them. Our ITGIS remodel, you had the bid opening last week. Monday we'll be bringing forward the recommendation at 9:30 for you to decide what you would like to do with that. Reorganization planning, as John and I had presented, locations where the administrator might work out of, the administrative services work out of. It could be fluid and could be changing as we make decisions here going forward. But we do have discussions already in place if you make some decisions on other projects we have and what we'll do there going forward. So we are talking about those. So once you make one decision, then we'll know which way to knock down the next domino as it will go. But we are ready to come forward with what decisions that you make. Monitor upgrades will be completed for Public Works. I'm putting on hold any purchases of laptops and desktops for 2026, mostly based around the discussion I just had on equipment, especially in the area of servers. So I am not making any purchases there until I get to the end of the year and see where we are with budget. The health department EMR, we are assisting them in getting their data converted. I believe they've set a July date for a go live, so we are assisting them. I previously spoke about upgrading the Public Works conference room. That is one again that I have put on hold with any decisions on that. Again, doing all of these decisions based around needing to watch the budget all the way to the end of the year before moving forward with any of these upgrades and projects. Our AS400 that runs our Comtech system, that does have to be upgraded. We have quotes on that already. It's minimal. It's $3,000 to do the upgrade on it. We have maintenance and support, so we do not have to pay for the software for its upgrade. I'll be scheduling that on a weekend in coordination with clerk, treasurer, and appraiser's offices because that system will be down during that upgrade time, and that is one of their primary system that they do work off of. In the elections, we're installing additional security cameras. There's a new one that went up on the back side of this building over here. We also will have some cameras going up at Noxious Weed. It's the requirement through elections that where machines are or stored or transported, that they have to be under video surveillance. And so we are working through those. In GIS, I was not happy with our last flight that was done in the spring of this year. So through a lot of work, the appraiser's office and reviewing the imagery as well as GIS staff, myself, we presented enough dislike in their imagery that they are going to do a new flight for us for free in the fall of this year. It will happen in the November timeframe when we can find leaf off, no snow.
You just jinxed us.
Yeah, I did.
It's gonna be a blizzard all the
Yeah.
way through November.
I know.
By the way,
Mother Nature is going to, haha, here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming. They will have a plane sitting here starting November 1,
Okay.
waiting for us to give them the okay. They are already in negotiations with Fort Riley to make sure that we're cleared for that flight. But they will be flying probably somewhere in the second half of November, early December. We're watching that window as we'll start to watch there. And then one of the things that I wanted to show you in planning for a Esri, that's the GIS software, the upgrade. I've spoke about the AI involvement in it now, and this is a roadmap. This is what it takes to plan out to upgrade our GIS system. Currently, we have to go from 5 servers that run that application to 10 due to AI's involvement within that system now. And Jake and I have been working on this, mostly Jake, for the last 2-3 months and getting that planned. it will take 4 to 6 months to get that environment set up. So we are working towards some of the purchases that I'll be making are to get us to our server operating system to 2025 requirement for that. But environment is already out, and it is what we'll have to upgrade to in 2027. As you know, I will put our GIS, and as you have said as well, up against anybody else out there in the area. And so we are taking our time and planning this out methodically as we do this. But it will be a lot of back end work by our collective IT and GIS teams to get this going. But it's going to have a lot more user functionality when it's done. Think of it almost like being able to do a Google search within Esri Maps. You can ask it questions, ask it things about data, and it will go and retrieve and find and bring those things back. There's a lot more user functionality, in-user, public user that will be available in there. So it's going to be interesting in the way that goes. The other thing I'll talk about there with GIS is that we do have an intern that is starting with us today. Proved that earlier today. Thank you. Working with HR and getting this through. This will be a first for us in there. The individual has a pretty good background actually in GIS and the work done for Emporia State. So we look forward to Caden starting with us today. He'll be with us through the summer before he goes back to school. But the stack of work is already piling up that
You may not make it till the beginning of the school year.
we will be able to have him accomplishing complete.
Good.
So we look forward to Caden start with us. So I'll leave the remaining 2 minutes. If there are any questions, comments, and anything that you want from me, I'm happy to answer. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Motion we have Michelle Reed at 9:50.
Commissioner, you had a question on the acreage, so I was able to get a response. So 1.4 acres are required if the house has a septic system, but receives water from outside the
Oh,
property,
so if it's a.
which is applicable to Keats, but yeah, so if it's a well,
Just hit the well on.
That
it.
would be
then it's 2
Separation.
acres.
Takes two.
Yep.
Okay, oh, I was looking at that and I thought maybe that's what it is.
Yep.
That's interesting.
That's fine.
That's good.
Mhm.
Wonder-
All the fine details of planning and zoning.
Oh, yeah.
Or wait a minute, great.
Yeah,
Where did
see? Yeah, get on
Great.
board.
great?
Great.
Hey,
That's great.
well, she started.
It's great.
Grits her teeth when
great.
she says that.
Here's something, that's great.
Apparently everything. Everything's great.
No, she was asking questions in a row and both answers were a one-word great. And I was like, well, what?
What's in your coffee?
It's,
I need
Caffeine.
I mean,
caffeine, like caffeine.
Spend more time around Michelle. This things are great.
that's right.
Good.
That is right. Good to go? The next meeting?
Yeah.
All right, Michelle Reed, Human Resource Manager. I am here. We have been asked to participate in a pilot program with Capers 457 in an auto enrollment plan. Currently, we offer Capers 457 as an optional retirement plan. Of course, we're all required to do the regulars Capers. We've been asked to participate in this program. It is a program that is going to last about 18 months to 2 years. And we're going to do check-ins at 9 to 12 months. The goal is to help employees build their retirement savings. I have testified in front of legislation about the Capers 3 program, and the Capers 3 program is not that great for people in that program for retirement. There's been talk about changing it and doing different things, but it hasn't been done. So we really hit hard on the Capers 457 offering and telling employees they should enroll sooner rather than later. With this pilot program, what it is it's auto enrolling employees into the program automatically. That way they don't have to worry about it, mess with it, and do it. We're gonna auto enroll them. We can choose any rate from 1 to 3% automatically renewed, and then it would have a yearly escalation rate of 1% if we chose to do that option. Currently, we have 260 employees that are eligible to participate, and we only have 84 in it, which is 32% are enrolled in this program. We hear a lot of reasons why they don't enroll is they didn't think about it. They didn't have time to do it. They were unsure of it, just different reasons. And Elizabeth has talked to some people and talked about the auto enrollment. And we've heard people say, you know, if someone auto enrolled me into it, I would have just left myself in it. I wouldn't have had to think about it. I just would have been in it. So this is going to help these employees get into the additional retirement. Now they're going to be auto enrolled into the program, but that doesn't mean they have to stay in the program. They can go in and they can opt out to not be involved. They can also be auto enrolled and then they can change their contribution limit. They're not stuck to what we auto enroll them in. This is just to get them into it. They also will have the option to stop it whenever they want. They can change it whenever they want. So it's nothing that they are locked into and cannot get out of. It's just we, again, are doing the enrollment for them. So it's not something that they have to enroll in. So benefits of participating in this pilot is we get to be in on the conversation of the program. We get to give our feedback. We get to see how things are going. If there are problems, how can we help shape that program? For the employees, again, it's going to help them have more retirement readiness and get them investing into the retirement even more than what the CAPERS currently does. Some of the counties that have already done this, Sedgwick County had done it in 2014. Before implementation, they had 34%. After, they had 94%. They started with a 1% default contribution and then the 1% annual escalation. The 1% escalation goes up to 6%. So once an employee has 6%, they're not auto escalated after that. Today, they have 80% participation continuing with this program. And of those people, 96% have stayed in the plan when they were auto enrolled into the plan. And then Broomfield County, same thing, and they have 90%.
Where's Broomfield County?
Yeah.
I am not 100% sure.
Not a Kansas County.
It's one that participates in the program. Ones that have committed to the pilot program. You can see the various different sizes. They have the city of Olathe. Gary County has committed to being in the pilot program, city of Seneca, and the city of Topeka. Being some of the government agencies, there are some medical that are also participating in that. What we have to do is let CAPERS 457 know that we are going to want to participate into this program. What we are recommending is to start with a 3% pre-tax contribution. Again, we can do anywhere from 1 to 3%. We would like to enroll all new employees and anyone eligible for the program. And then again, the auto escalation of 1% annually with the maximum up to 6%. And again, the employee, I like to just emphasize, the employee has total control. So they can, again, opt out if they choose to. They can change stock or increase their contributions on it. They can also opt out of auto escalation if they don't want to auto escalate it. So I would like to recommend that we participate in this program with the CAPERS 457. I'm glad to answer any questions.
Right now, how long, what does it take to enroll now?
So you have to, there are two options. You can go online and you can enroll yourself. You just have to go in to their website. They're given a code, they enter the code, they go into it, they make their selection if they want to do pre-tax, post-tax contributions, percentage, dollar amount, before tax, after tax. You can also decide how you want to invest, or you can just let it invest for you. So that has all of those, or you can contact Scott Kober. He is our CAPERS 457 rep. Some employees do reach out to them because then they do have questions of should I invest? How should I invest? Also where they're at in their life and what their retirement goals are. We do have Scott Cover, who does come once a quarter, who will be here next Tuesday, to meet with employees and to kind of go over where they're at, if they should change their contributions, if they should do anything different, and kind of help them keep them in line.
Michelle, the department has discussed this over several meetings and going to support the enrollment.
Department heads have discussed and have supported this. I've also originally had met with the finance committee, which Jacob was part of, and Brittany. So yes, we've had these conversations with the finance committee as well as with the department heads who are in support. Any other questions?
So when, excuse me, when does that go into effect?
The program, we would like to have, we have to make our commitment by the beginning of July. And that sometime mid to the end of July is when they're looking at rolling out. We don't have like an exact date. They're trying to get all the participants in line and then decide when they're going to roll out. Any other questions?
I think it's good to have options.
Oh, darn it, shucks.
You're just allergic to capers, that's all. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with the word that you great.
How, when we get out, if they're auto enrolled, will we get the information, tell them this is what's happening, in case you wonder why your check was changed?
Yes,
And if you want to get out of, tell them what they can do,
yes.
so they don't just go, oh, the
Yes.
county took my money again.
Yeah, during new hire orientation.
Well, their new hires would be fine,
Mhm.
but the existing
And
ones.
we're going to send all the detailed information. Capers 457 will provide the exact information step by step of what they'll need to do. And then we're going to pass it on to the employees, let them know about the enrollment, exactly what they need to do, what they can do. And again, go over the fact that they can opt out, they can change, and they can stop it whenever they want, or we'll give them all the detailed information.
Okay,
Get a motion?
so I make a motion to approve Riley County to participate in the auto enrollment pilot program.
Second.
Is then moved and seconded for Raleigh County to participate in the auto enrollment pilot program. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Next question, you have Catherine Hempler.
You all right?
How you doing?
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Catherine Hensler, Riley County Historical Museum. Going with the theme of the day, it's great because I'm not asking for money this morning. So I just have on the agenda here a request to close the museum for July 4th, which is a federal holiday. But as you know, that day falls on a Saturday this year. So it does fall out slightly from the approved federal holiday closure schedule that you approved at the beginning of, well, last year. And so because the museum does operate on weekend hours, we're open Saturdays and Sundays 2 to 5 p.m. I would like to ask for permission to close the museum on the day of July 4th this year. We would reopen just like normal on Sunday, July 5th. Really shouldn't be any kind of of fiscal impact. I won't have to pay my hourly staff to be there. And so the recommendation, if you are open to it, would be to close on July 4th this year.
Man, I was hoping for a big blowout,
I
and
know.
fireworks and barbecue.
Well,
Man.
we are still going to do something, but we've got it set up to autopilot.
Gotcha.
So
Well, that's fine.
But the whole America 250 is celebrating that day
right.
and we
So
close that day.
well, yes, we are, but we're not doing any actual.
I know we're having other activities, but
Yeah,
it's just kind of odd.
it kind of,
That's the whole celebration is that day, and then we'll close that day.
And well, I can understand that.
that
Yeah.
thought bounced around my head
Yeah.
too.
So the alternative is we don't have any actual programming scheduled for that day. So if we are open, we would just be open for normal tours. What we are doing that day though, and why I use the term autopilot, is we are participating in Light to Unite. And that is across the country. We do have some groups here locally in Manhattan and Riley County that will be lighting their businesses. A couple county buildings are included, historical society properties, and some other establishments around town. The goal is to light up at night on the 4th with red, white, and blue. So we do have that planned and everything's set. That's why I say autopilot. The lights will come on when the sun sets. And we will be lit red, white, and blue.
Why do you think it's important to let the employees have the day off to celebrate too? That was the second thought that bounced around in my head.
You know,
Yeah,
I
and
accept
that's
both
my
ways, but it just
priority.
seems
Yeah,
odd that that's
Yeah.
our main celebration.
Yeah.
It won't be, and I don't know how many go on the weekends anyway, but
Typically, it's not fabulous attendance on a standard Saturday. We're usually seeing an average of maybe 6 to 12 people. So it is hard to say what attendance would be on this 4th of July. We're usually not open for the 4th of July, so we don't have stats to share.
it also fits with somewhat of our policy of federal holidays off.
I
It's
know.
on a Saturday, but we're one of the unique ones that stay open on Saturdays and Sundays. So I can live with it.
Motion?
I'm going to make a motion to approve the request for closure of the Historical Museum on Saturday, July 4th.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request for the closure of the Historical Museum on Saturday, July 4th. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Catherine.
much.
Have executive session, 10:05.
Oh, right. Sneezing, must be something weird in the air. So
My sinuses lately have been awful the past couple of days.
We were talking about the ambulance service.
Oh, that'll do it.
Move the thermostat to help
Oh,
regulate
where
the
the
room.
thermostat was.
Yeah.
That's it.
well, we can go ahead.
Okay. I'll move the county commissioners, including Chairwoman Foki, Vice Chair Ford, and Commissioner McKinley, with Jacob Hansen, County Counselor, Attorney for the Commission, Elizabeth Ward, Human Resource Director, and Corey IT and GIS Director. Recess into executive session pursuant to the non-elected personnel's exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act in order to evaluate the performance of a department head, and the open meeting to resume in the County Commission chamber at 10:35 a.m.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session for the reasons previously stated under the non-elected personnel matters exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioners want a 10-minute warning.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
do it without.
Okay. We are live.
I move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I'll second.
You wanna do?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Vice
Yeah,
Chair.
okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and, and I haven't done this for a while. Go ahead.
Been moved and seconded.
Yeah. I forget what I have to do.
It's been moved and seconded that we come out of executive.
Thank you.
Executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
Has Catherine left the meeting? Coming back.
She's coming back.
Okay, you just said he was gonna remove the vice chair, so I just wanted to check.
Okay.
Just make it bit stuff. And move the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that record reflect action shall be taken with the consensus reached in executive session.
Or
All
it
in
would be
favor?
no binding action.
No binding action.
Yeah.
Okay, no binding action was taken. All in favor? That threw me completely off, sorry.
You
You haven't
voted,
had to worry about it in a while.
Catherine, you voted for both, correct?
For
Come out
which?
of executive session.
Executive session, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Way it's over.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. My computer went off while I was out.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Adams, the Emergency Services Director. I'm here with
Hello.
kind of an annual request that we received from Potawatomi County to use one of our EMS patient hauler UTVs for their 4th of July celebration to help assist them with being able to get around the crowds and throughout that part of town during that 4th of July celebration. That is, as you're well aware, a pretty big deal with a lot of patrons there. They have one patient hauler UTV, but they're asking, as usual, for a second. We've been doing this for many, many years. They take good care of our equipment. They bring it back full of fuel, clean, without issues. Knock on wood, it'll continue. But they take good care of it, and we don't have any issues with it. They pick it up and then they bring it back to us to where they got it. So, if you don't have any questions, then would recommend that we allow Riley County Emergency Services to loan the UTV to Potawatomi County during that weekend.
We've always done that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the use of a Riley County Emergency Services patient hauler during the time frame noted in the card.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Potawatomi County's request to use Raleigh County Emergency Services patient handler during the time frame noted. All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, next commissioner, you have Brittany Phillips, puts on the 2027 budget at 10:40.
Ready, commissioners? Okay, good morning, commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, here to discuss the 2027 budget and any other discussion that we may continue from our conversations on Monday. So most of this is pretty standard. We use the CPIU, which is written into our personnel fees. We use it for the January through December rate, and it is calculated at 2.8%. It is important to note that right now I have an estimated $825,000 in here. But that is because of all the changes at the health department, and we're still working through trying to finalize that personnel budget. I anticipate this number coming down a little bit. So, there's also a transfer of $2 million to capital improvements. That would help cover current debt obligations that are scheduled to be paid out of there in 2027. You can see where we're at with revenues and expenditures, and also the RCPD request of $6,088,807. And then last year we decided to add in the rural fire page at the end. So this used to be just a 3-page document. We've expanded it to 4 pages now, so that we can continue to talk about rural fire throughout the entire budget process. So I'm going to comment on a couple of questions that were asked on Monday, and then I'll open it up. Monday, we had discussed a couple of the contracts that we have for these studies, and what that would look like for if we needed to cancel any of them. I had Jacob Hansen, so trying to combine Hansen and counselor all into one word, review them. And he said that all of the contracts can be terminated with 30-day notice. However, the judicial services study may have a cost of services performed, and any cost the architect may have for any subcontractors that they've already begun to pay for anything. So also on this worksheet, I have again an estimated cost for the transfer to the health department, but again, that'll possibly change based on how we've been trying to work through the personnel budget on that. So
Yeah, just if I may, just to reiterate on the judicial services contract. The concern would be is it's an unknown of how much they've spent with the consultants, and that they have 2. They have Fintris and Erasmus Galara. So that's a bit of an unknown cost.
Well, that one's been put off since 2012. Of any of them, I'd like to see at least the study done and see where we go to fund whatever it is.
On the health one though, we've got. I don't see any point doing it right now.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think that needs to, I
Um,
mean, it's been on hold. It's been on hold anyway. I think it just needs to be canceled for
They're
now.
not
until we-
necessarily busting out of space with 2 buildings at this point in time too. It's really to try to
I think they were trying to put one.
try to combine everything and make it a little bit more efficient and figure out what to do with the extra space or fill the extra space, whatever, but yeah.
Is there a way to suspend those contracts without having to
We could negotiate
I would
that.
think, though, if you're gonna postpone for a year, the cost, they're gonna hold the same cost for a year or 2.
Yeah, they're not-
They're gonna do it.
You also have an issue of, well, when you enter in contracts for longer than a year, you have to worry about cash basis and things of that nature as well. So
Well, yeah, we've got a lot to settle over there, really.
is that an agreement you guys would like to cancel the health department study?
Yeah.
Okay.
do that. And just be advised, there still will be costs up into
Sure.
the services performed to the state.
Right. And then, of course, which we talked about it Monday as well, that we don't have a contract in place for the ITGIS remodel. So you can cancel that project at any time before you sign the contract. So again, up to the board.
But we do have
Monday,
the
we have a
architectural
discussion.
contract
Yes, you have, and at this point, we've confirmed with John and Jacob that basically we've paid all of those fees for the study at this point, so that contract is basically done. So the only contract you guys haven't formally approved yet is, the one that's up for discussion on Monday.
Remind me what we paid for the study.
Ooh, that is a great question, and I'd have to get back to you. Okay, on this worksheet, there's a lot of yellow. And it's mainly because some of these things I really just want to bring to your attention, like the administration, that's a brand new line for a new department. So I've also lowered that pay grade based on your guys' discussion, or I should say, I haven't, Elizabeth lowered the pay grade per the direction you guys gave at the last reorganization discussion. And so that lowered that salary number. Additionally, I have the clerk highlighted, mostly as a reminder for me, because you guys have not made a formal decision on where you want to lower the specifically the clerk's position. And then commissioners, based on your guys' discussion on Monday, we've updated the personnel spreadsheet to reflect the new salaries, and that number has been updated in here. Emergency services, that's a combined department at, we started that formally this year, but for budget purposes for 2027, we really have to put it all into one division line. And so that is why that one's highlighted, just because we're combining ambulance and emergency management. So any questions to kick us off? Oh, and I lowered Pawnee Mental Health based on our last discussion when we talked about appropriations. I believe that was last week.
Yeah, I know we talked about it. Well, I don't think we made final decisions on appropriations.
No, you have not made final decision, but there was consensus to lower Pawnee Mental Health.
I'd like to see everything flat on appropriations. I'm not sure, but I don't know how, well, I know they're important.
They're all great programs and services, but we're not getting the revenue in to cover them. So I think we got to take a hard look at maybe eliminating all of them. I don't know if we have to make that decision today per se, but I think we got to take a hard look at, we're not, according to your memo, none of those are any that we have to pay for. They're not part of the 18 statutorily mandated services that we're going to have to focus on, and we may or may not have enough to cover those. I don't know, but I think you're going to have to take a hard look at that. Keeping it flat doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything, unfortunately. I don't know what the total is. You have a total on that, Brittany, including the economic development part?
Oh, total for, I didn't include
It's
it.
1.5 mils, right?
Yeah, it's 1.5 mils.
Is that for the increases or the flat part?
1.5 mils is what the board has agreed to consider appropriating each year. Starting back in 24, I believe you guys made that agreement to allocate 1.5 mils. So you're not set to that. You do not have to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't a formal, it's just an informal thing. We're gonna try to.
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
target, I
It was
guess,
not a
but
formal thing. It's not
Yeah, I'll be
established
helpful.
resolution. It's not, anything like that.
it's
So,
just a target,
yeah.
Within reason, have been pretty good about being able to accomplish that, but
exactly.
There's some really areas of real need that are being met by all of these. I know the Council on Aging, that's mainly for meals for senior citizens. I know that's what that was. Be Able does a lot of work with underserved people, so I don't know where you draw the line.
That's the decision you guys will have
I
to.
think we had to prioritize what our expectations are, budget given it, and I'm not accepting of it, quite
We want
honestly.
to have a separate meeting just on appropriations again.
Might be a
Rather
good
than trying
idea.
to
Try to,
stumble, kind of hit it. We're gonna
Yeah,
bite
we
off
can
a
do that.
piece at a time on this thing. There's.
yeah, that might be a good idea. The whole perspective, everything shifted from the last time we did
Yeah.
this, so,
Okay,
yeah.
I will set up.
Set up one just for appropriations
Mhm.
again.
Absolutely. Okay,
Let's see, the conservation, we have to pay that?
We don't have,
Some of the ones on here.
One
we
of
have
them
to.
is the animal
Extension, we-
shelter.
but
yeah,
Extension we have to pay too.
yeah.
yeah, extension we have to, and you guys have already approved that request. The animal shelter is more of a contract now, so I will defer to Jacob on legalities of that, but
It's not really an appropriation.
it's not necessarily anymore. So, I mean, we can move it out of there, but I need to budget for it somewhere.
That's if you guys have specific questions on things, let me know so I can, it's been a while since I drafted that memo, so I don't have it all.
Right.
And what you have appropriations isn't what we necessarily called for that 1.5 mil, because there were some.
Right,
items-
because like extension is a required.
Well, and you don't have, where is Conzo on here? That was one that wasn't.
Kanza?
The water
Oh,
project.
that is an
You got
economic
this year and
development.
another year to pay it.
That's under economic, oh. okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, and the other, oh, okay, I forgot about the other page right there. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's what I was looking for.
Mhm. So I'll set up another meeting to talk about appropriations separately. Remove, extension from that conversation. Of course, the Kanza Water Project. I was just trying to make that last discussion similar to how these sheets look. So I will do that. Any direction on anything, any of the departments here? You can see there's already, it's kind of hard to see up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you see that? I can't see that. Corey's talked a lot with you guys about the ITGIS budget and why there's such a large increase in that. And ultimately, my recommendation would be not to decrease that, especially just knowing how costs continue to go up. I mean, in 3 months, they doubled. Can't imagine what 12 months is going to look like. So I would highly recommend that we not lower ITGIS. And ultimately, a lot of divisions already made pretty significant cuts are pretty low also, so.
I know if I may, I know the counselor's office adjusts 42%, but the 3 Cs is relatively low to begin with. And the
That's
increases,
what- Those percentages look odd because, but it's, I looked at that, it says percentage of increase, no, it's just the 3 Cs.
It is just the 3
It
Cs.
it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's,
And
the total one is, total one is more relevant to me than the 3 Cs.
Mhm. Yes, and specifically for the counselor's budget, it was the line that I asked him to increase was the legal services.
Yeah.
Just because we don't know how much we would continue to use outside legal counsel.
Right.
And we did spend, kind of quite a bit of money this past year. And it wasn't necessarily budgeted for that full amount. So just so we're all tracking.
the good news is that number should not be anywhere close to that because we were able to reassure our insurance company to make sure they help out. So
On that, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're hopeful that it stays the same.
So as far as, we'll go over the health department, again, what we're gonna do with that is that we're not gonna add to it, or we're gonna keep the same as we had, or what?
Well, you guys will have to make that decision on what that looks like. It's part of the new and expanded positions discussion on Monday, to look at an assistant director. And, so that is ultimately up to the board. So that's kind of why our numbers keep changing on the personnel for the health department, just trying to figure out what is going to work best.
Well, so that's discussion is on Monday?
Yes, for new and expanded positions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, on the health department, David, are you in there or not?
I'm sorry.
For the health department, are you in that expanded as the acting director still, or are we gonna?
No, ma'am. I don't think
Okay.
so.
I didn't think so, but.
So, and I'm not. Can you speak on this or?
Guys, when you're talking, we need to start coming up to the
Yeah, because
podium.
we've had complaints from
Yes.
people that you can't And they did,
Can't hear you
they
guys out.
changed the
Crowd.
microphones a little bit, so they don't pick up out there as well as they did.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I think, I'm not sure if this is gonna be fall under, I mean, we're gonna present the reorganization of the health department.
Okay,
And I don't know if that falls under new and expanded, or if that is part of the department, or how.
Good morning, Elizabeth Ward, Human Resources Director. I was under the impression and the direction that we were talking about the health department reorganization. I do not have that prepared for Monday's presentation with new and expanded. So that's not what I was planning on doing. I do have been working with David and all 6 supervisors to try to make a plan, which we've really, I think, got hammered out yesterday to be able to present to you as a proposal. It was a separate conversation. I can figure out how to quickly put that in before 3 o'clock this afternoon, if that's when you want it on Monday, but
Let's make sure we're getting it
Yeah.
done right. Take
yeah,
time.
I just was, yeah, we're just.
I will say that budget wise, I mean, we are very conscious of what we need to do to stay somewhat near the budget and try to make the health department function and thrive with the right staffing and the right management hierarchy.
Okay.
I apologize. That was a misunderstanding on my part. There's a lot of moving pieces in that. So I apologize for misspeaking on that.
Okay.
So hold on, health department. Any other questions on anything else?
Well, as it stands, I'm not accepting of this budget.
I understand that.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
In fact, I actually just want to make a motion and reject it at this point in time. Send it back to staff and Budget and Finance Committee for some analysis and some deep adjustments.
And we will work with them too. I mean, not
Exactly,
just on this,
absolutely.
we work together with everyone. to-
Correct.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, is that, you're making?
I am making that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to reject this budget, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And to work on it, further work on it with departments and work with commissioners. That. Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Are there any recommendations on where you want us to look?
Have a, yeah,
Well, I mean,
CIP.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell I'm gonna raise this 8 mils.
I understand that.
That's just not a
I
reality.
need direction to be able to.
I understand
budget
that.
Planning. committee.
Appropriations, part of that discussion, we need to discuss. I'm gonna say it once again, I mean, you're gonna bring it, it's a normal part of the presentation, but I'm not gonna add any more employees.
Okay,
We may restructure some things as needed in the health department, and I'll certainly be open to that, but in terms of the administrator, still open to that, but that budget looks awfully high there too.
Well, we can put that off too for 6 months. 8 months
Mm.
into.
we,
Well, I don't.
Not on that
I don't
one.
like to do that.
We have to look at some projects that we're doing that we're probably not gonna be able to do. And we need to go back and take a deeper dive into departments too.
do you have any specific department? I mean, these percentages are relatively low. I mean, they are unbelievably low.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably go lower, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, and then that compounds over the next couple of years, and then we're gonna have another high.
We may need to look at this over a course of a couple of years too. I can understand that, but
Well, if we would not do any appropriations, I would save us, 2 million,
It's not that, it's,
I mean, it's,
like, you're 1.5, so it's gonna be 1.3.
yeah, it's gonna be
1.3.
900,000,
Well,
8.
900 times 1.5.
Yeah.
It's 1,363,000.
Oh, okay.
We have a budget and planning committee today meeting to talk specifically about budgets based on the direction you gave us on Monday, and I need to know where specifically you would like us to look, because right now, I mean, the direction is that you're rejecting this budget, and I don't know where you want me to pull it from. Do you want to talk more about the discussions we had on Monday? I mean, you canceled the health department study. Do you want to talk about the IT GIS remodel?
But that doesn't affect, that's a CIP, it's already been
That
allocated.
but I'm gonna have to ask you guys to move money back over to county general.
We
And-
have a huge amount of CIP money.
Okay,
I would like to go forward with that.
Yeah, I intend to.
with the IRT because of how important they are to the county and what they need. And you're just going up there and seeing how cramped they are.
Been working here. I mean,
No,
they're
it's
working,
not
but it's
working.
not what needs to be.
Well,
One of the items, because we had transfer to capital improvements, and that probably needs to come off.
Yep, I would agree.
One,
are we?
to the transfer to capital improvements, I think we need to
Mhm.
which item
take
is
that off.
That was
It's
my
not-
recommendation on
Yeah.
Monday.
Which item is that one? Which number?
The transfer to CIP, $2 million.
26.
26, yeah,
And that lowers the amount you have for projects for next year.
right.
May need to look at reducing that maybe even further too, but
Yeah.
we don't have to
But
bite it
that's-
all off at once. It's okay.
Does the board agree by consensus to not do the $2 million thing? Okay. Was that an agreement?
Yeah.
Catherine?
I guess, you
I guess
know. Were those specific items or is it just an amount?
It's just a, now,
It's an amount that helps cover any future projects. We have a 3-year list for pieces of equipment and upcoming projects that our department heads have vested. So that would help cover that and our bond payment that comes out of that for radios.
Okay. Well, I guess we can hold till things improve on that.
No, they're not, I mean, at the moment anyway, it's hard to maybe
Like you say,
look out 2 to 3 years, but the list was pretty small in general.
that's what I pull that list back
Yeah.
out and see what it is. I mean, we've got more than covered the next couple of years, but
But we can
We have to keep moving.
prioritize some of the things that we have.
Yeah, we need to keep moving on some of these projects so they get done. You
Yeah.
know, like the judicial center is really important.
Well, I hope you've got a good way to come up with about $60 million. That's what they're gonna cost.
Yeah. At least, you know, better plan for the future. And may not always be this bleak.
We have to have enough money to plan for the future.
Yep,
I know.
and it looks like we don't at the moment.
We
That's,
don't.
that's where we have to reprioritize. I'm not jumping up and down about it, but
I know.
situation is the situation, you know. 60% of our taxpayers are paying 100% of the property tax bill here.
Mhm.
That's continuing to continue to rise on a consistent basis. I don't know, I saw a number of CPI in the Midwest is overall costs have gone up almost 38% over the last 5 years, just in general. And
You know,
38%, I mean,
30
you're
years.
quite honestly, we're not gonna survive under that model of just continually raising prices to raise prices. We're just crushing people.
We're not the only ones.
No, I know.
mean, like,
No, I agree.
it's
I
not
agree
even
100%.
Solely a county issue
Yeah.
that, or
I
government
just, this
issue.
is the issue that I'm responsible for, so that's the framework in which I'm speaking from.
Mhm.
So. We gotta reshift our focus, maybe not forever, but
Well, we're
gotta
not-
correct us or it's just gonna continue to grow. I mean, we're not gonna tax and spend our way into prosperity. We've been trying to do it for a long time now and it's not working.
Well, we're not a for-profit agency.
Agreed.
You know, so, you know, we have to look at taking care of the needs of the people in the community. And,
take care of the needs of the people that pay the taxes.
Yeah, I agree.
well, so that's all of the other 40%
Right.
we don't take care of, then how do
Yeah,
we do
yeah.
that?
Well, it just
The
means
tax
we don't
exempt.
have what we need to cover it because of that. And how do you, how do you move past it? Where do we find those resources?
Talk to the state legislature so they quit okaying and passing these exemptions. That's where a lot of it starts.
Yeah.
So. But we have to deal with
That
it.
doesn't do anything for next year.
No.
No.
Well, maybe the year
Long-
after, because it usually
long
takes
term,
about
right?
2 years.
Then figure out things, yeah.
I do know, on a positive front there, I do know that they have put a committee together to review tax exemptions.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they weren't gonna touch that this year with the being an election year, but I do think that at least from what I've heard, at least potential leadership moving into place next year has put a focus on that. So that's probably one area to continue to harp on. For sure.
Okay, so I'm almost out of time. Is there any other direction before I ask my next question?
I think that's a start. Obviously, we're gonna have a separate conversation on appropriations, so that's.
Okay, so we are getting really low on time on it before we need to certify our intent to exceed R&R to the county clerk. And so I need to know if commissioners are willing to work in the afternoon on a Monday or a Thursday.
Depends on which afternoons. I'm willing if I'm not scheduled.
How
for
does next
something.
Thursday look, July 3rd? Monday already goes until noon. I could put something together for Monday if you guys want
July
to.
3rd is Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry, July 2nd. Nobody's here July 3rd.
No, I cannot.
Second.
Not on the second.
I'm open on July 1st at this point and the 3rd. Just those extra days. It's a Wednesday and a Friday.
If Friday our offices are closed,
Yes.
that is, I mean, ultimately,
Oh, that's right.
4th of July.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of other people probably leaving too, so that may not be the.
I mean,
best.
if you want to have a special meeting on July 1st, I can make that work.
Brittany, what's the deadline?
July 20th.
Well, I think it's reasonable to think that there's no way in hell we're gonna meet that. I mean,
They come up, so we have to.
With the R&R thing, yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we are.
I mean, I've come to, I mean, just 2 years ago, it cost us $1.7 million in the revenue that we're not bringing into that, we're bringing that cap down on us. So I don't know how,
We have to publish something and then we can.
But that's what she's talking about.
Dig deeper.
we don't necessarily have to have a budget set. to
We don't
do
have to have
that.
the final budget for the R&R.
Right.
No, no.
Okay.
You just have to know that what your max is. I have our hearing date set for September 10th. But we have to officially have it done by October 1st to the county clerk's budget. So we can push that September 10th date out if we need more time to keep cutting, but
Okay.
And you can establish it and you can actually go underneath
Go
it, you
down.
just can't go above it.
we can't go above it.
Right.
Yeah. Or do we want to go with what we got now and then
I can bring a resolution on Monday if you want to set
that's a lot.
this as your max and no, I mean, we all
No.
hear you, you're cutting. That is up to you guys.
You have to, we have a couple extra meetings
We got
there,
a few
That's fine.
weeks before we get there.
but I would come to a consensus that I just, I don't see how we're gonna meet that.
But Thursday afternoon, we would have extended, we'll do the
On the first,
Second.
second, I have a doctor's appointment that I'm actually trying to get moved up, and I'm gonna be conscious of all this. in my
Well,
past
No,
schedule.
We did a special session and only focus on budgets.
I'm clear on the first.
Yeah, we could do it. We could start
Can we do
morning
it in the
and go all day
afternoon?
if we need to.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
I can schedule that around work and other
Lunch,
obligations.
1 o'clock till whatever.
Fine with me, we can do that.
Okay.
So you agreed by consensus, July 1, starting at 1 o'clock for the
Mhm.
Yeah.
special session?
That's Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you, commissioners.
we'll do what we can.
Excuse me. Before the 11:10, commissioners.
I didn't see any information or anything.
There wasn't anything.
Oh, okay.
No, I look for it too. There wasn't anything. Yeah.
You've got it in hard copy, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine.
I don't know if I should comment on that, but yeah, I might need direction on that, so. You ready for me, Catherine? Okay, Elizabeth Ward, Human Resources Director.
I guess.
You guess, well, okay, so
It's ready.
I believe I believe we're really close to the end of our tasks that are immediately need. So I have two things for you this morning. Talking about the job description for the administrator, the final pay grade and the final approval of the job description. And then I want to talk about the elected officials' pay, how it is determined. And I think we have a solution there as well. So let me hand those out, please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And did that for them.
So first thing first, hopefully simple, is the position description. Nothing else has changed since the last time you saw it. But the pay grade is adapted to a JJ, which I believe was your direction. And so I'm hoping that you'll be able to approve the position description and have that formally adopted.
Yeah, the JJ I've got here, it starts at 151 to 25.28, right?
That's the range, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. That's the minimum.
Yes, ma'am. That's a minimum starting range. Yes, yeah. You're in the right range, yeah.
Okay.
I think the rest of it is okay.
Yeah.
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 We need a motion.
Yes, I think so, so that we
I
can,
make a motion to approve the job description for Riley County Administrator.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the job description of the Raleigh County Administrator. All in favor? Aye.
thank you. Okay, so the second thing I have is we had on our list to decide how incoming elected officials would be paid and make sure that that is in line with what the current commissioners want to, what process you want to follow. So I had mentioned and we had discussed that in 2020, there was a resolution stating that the policy that for each election year establishes the incoming elected official to assume the salary as the departing elected official. However, in 2024, when we created the new, updated the personnel policies and the procedures manual, in the procedures manual, the commissioners adopted and approved the statement saying incoming elected officials' pay is determined in the same manner as the professional staff outlined above. My understanding was that this was our process manual. And so I wanted to clarify with you which way you wanted to go. I worked with Jacob and he is very clear and sure that that is the current policy that we have in place, even though it's located housed in the procedure manual. So right now, unless you would like to change it, the incoming elected officials' pay will be determined by the amount of experience, education, and relatable skills that they bring to the job, not by the outgoing.
That
person.
this override that other.
That is what Jacob is saying, yes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've been trying to.
Yeah, and I knew we had the process, but we didn't have, resolution or policy, but by approving that in 2024, that is our current policy.
Correct.
So unless you would like to change that, if that's the direction you'd like to go, we are set.
And that's appointed and elected?
So the appointed are already in that pay, that
Right.
type of assessment. So now the elected are assessed in the same way when they come in. So if there is a new person in a new elected position, they will not just take on the pay of the previous person. They will be assessed by the KSAs, the skills, knowledge, and ability that they bring to the job.
Okay. It seems to be in placement with a lot of other public entities at this point in time, so.
Yeah.
And there's been shifts over the last 5 years due to obvious reasons, so.
Yep.
Okay, we have some questions. We have one here.
Yep.
Okay, Shalom.
I guess I just have a question on, so on the electeds, you'll set a pay grade, a minimum. How does that affect if you were filing for election? What if you're paying by filing fee, what would that be based on? That minimum? Is it based on what the current elected official is making? I just think
It's based on the current because
Yeah.
that's what when I filed, that's why I did.
I did-
So even though that position was being reduced the next year, I had to pay based on what, I mean, the rules
I
already,
just, I
you're
know.
paid based on whatever. it is.
I know, I was talking to the Potawatomi County Treasurer and she told me that in Potawatomi County, they set a resolution that anybody that files pays that based on whatever the minimum is for that position. And so it just, because I think there's an expectation that if you're paying on that amount, that's what you're going to be paid. So just something for you to consider going forward.
Yeah, I like the minimum on.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm not, I hadn't heard that.
Fees.
I hadn't heard that before. I talked to several people and they said that sometimes the county reimburses the difference for the filing fee. But if we can do that, no, our county doesn't do that. No, I'm just saying that that is a policy at some counties. That if we can set that locally, I guess I wasn't tracking that was a local decision.
know if that's an option, but just something to consider.
It makes,
Instead it's the
it makes
same.
sense.
Agreed.
It's that, yeah.
So I guess I can research that and find out what we can do.
See if it is. legal to-
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to
Correct.
ensure that we can do that.
Typically, I mean, there's some
What?
different examples, but typically when you're filing for an office, you are filing for it for the first time.
Yes.
I mean, there's some
Agreed.
potential exceptions to that, but the majority of the time, so
never
you would be
served
basing
it.
it off of the minimum.
Well, I think right now you base it off of the whoever's in the position's pay.
Right.
10%, I think, or 0.01 or.
I think it's 0.01%.
0.01.
That would-
Not 10, that's-
I think it's one.
I know it's.
I think it's 1%. But I haven't filed.
It's one or three. It might be three.
Well, somebody out there can tell you. One.
My check was 670.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. I'm more than happy to look into that and see
Okay.
if we can set that locally to file based on the minimum of the grade. You know, all the positions are already in a grade, so we have that created already and approved.
Okay. Rich, do you still have a comment?
Well, yeah, I mean, it clarifies it, but just so the public knows, because it's not said, it says all elected will start at the beginning, and that's not true, because commissioners are elected as well.
Yeah,
They're all
it's
three gonna
not
be
in.
paid the same, and that's not in there.
Right.
The public needs to know that.
Yep, so let me clarify that. The policy on elected officials, there's two statements. Incoming elected officials' pay is determined by the same manner as professional staff, which is outlined in our placement. And the second statement, Riley County Commissioners will be paid the same salary for all three commissioners. So that is our current policy. So when it says elected officials, it does separate the commissioners. And there are counties that pay commissioners different levels based on their experience. And there are many counties that pay them the same, so.
And that'd be a hard thing to determine.
Well, they start them out at the beginning and then they just gain a merit as they serve.
That's your problem. but
Right.
It's not for us, for me. I mean, most of the counties do it, everybody's the same, most elect, state representatives and all them. It's not based on years, it's based on whatever that salary is.
They just had a raise.
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, the state does a different system.
Yeah.
For this year, I guess.
Anyway,
But I appreciate the clarification. Yes, the elected officials are separated from the commissioners. And you've determined, your rate for next year.
Yeah, the commissioners will always get paid what the outgoing is. Just exactly what they're not wanting to do with the rest of the elected officials.
Correct. Sorry if it bothers you, but that's.
Might tell the public, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander, but
I
you want to
know,
protect
but
your own salary.
I'm not gonna have that fight right now.
Well, I mean, maybe looking towards the future of doing that when new commissioners come on board and maybe you can grandfather the situation right now until that turnover happens. I don't know.
Well, so yeah, I mean, we can do anything like that. We can say, you can set the salary for 2027 and not have a policy that says you'll always be paid the same.
Right.
You can say all elected officials, because this is literally to incoming new elected
Right.
officials. Yeah. So yeah, you absolutely can strike that and just say all elected officials will be determined as professional staff, but none of you are new, so it wouldn't affect
Right.
2027. It would affect if you leave and a new person comes in.
Correct.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So then that's kind of what you're saying, grandfathered.
Right.
We can still keep commissioners separated, and say, okay, yes, they'll start at the lowest pay and then gain merit for each year served. We can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Need to do something. I mean, I'm sorry, because we make policy and we make the fiscal decisions, we are indeed separate. Um, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
by structure.
Yeah.
structure, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can draft anything that you feel is appropriate. I mean, I can draft that, hey, incoming commissioners will come in at, the minimum and will gain merit each year. I can draft that
That would probably make more sense because that
Yeah.
kind of covers what Shiloh was talking about, because that's kind of set in stone. And of course, if you decide to change COLAs and
the whole
merits,
grade,
anything
the
of
whole
that.
grade would go with that,
Right.
yeah.
So, and that's just comparatively moving with with the direction of whatever COLA is and CPI and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, and the good thing about that is it gives everybody something to expect, but once the commissioners are in place, they can say, okay, no, we're gonna adjust down or,
Right.
You did a study at one point, I don't know, a couple of years ago on,
2022.
the best, what the best minimum, mid-range and maximum would be for all the professional people. And I know that the commissioners were under that. too.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, yes, that would set the grades, right? So
Mhm.
that sets the
That's
pay
it.
band of what the range is. And I haven't looked at it, that comprehensively since 22, but we have continued to consistently give COLA, which should help us stay in line. It should be very close to where we are at market. It's really difficult. We've talked about before comparing apples to apples, right? So cost of living in Riley County is different than Pot County, in county, et cetera. We have to say how we would be competitive in Riley County. But what I think this particular policy would say, where does a commissioner start in that pay band? It doesn't necessarily change the pay band. So for example, if one of you were no longer here in 2 years, the incoming person could start at the minimum that is that 2 years or your outgoing pay. And I think that's maybe the question at hand. So I guess we could say, and I don't know if you're all saying this, I think what I hear John saying is that we would just say incoming elected officials' pay is determined as the same manner as the professional staff, or you can say incoming commissioners will start at the minimum of the commissioner pay range. Or you could say something else if you've got another thought.
I was thinking the latter.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You need to come up to the podium. Sorry.
We do know your address though, Gary.
Ariel's appointed people, because the central committee would appoint if someone were to step down from their position, where would they come in?
The incoming.
That would be the incoming elected
Still be
officials.
But they're not elected, that's.
It's
Well, it's still
elected
an
It's
position.
an elected position.
An elected official.
It didn't say elected.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, just to clarify, internally, we call our positions elected or appointed, and it's not necessarily how they get to that, but it's an elected position or a board appointed position. So we're kind of using our internal language there.
Because they're actually, like if one of us would leave
Right.
tomorrow.
It would be an
then
incoming.
because it's partisan, that political party would choose,
Yes.
then that's an elected.
Yeah, so Gary's right. The party would appoint that person, but at Riley County would still treat that as an elected official. So it's an elected position. So yeah, I mean, I think if you want to go, I can draft a statement similar to what John is supporting or something different if whatever direction you give.
I don't know, I think keeping the same, I mean, that's standard.
Yeah. Well,
We've adjusted everybody up and down,
Well, true.
down.
I'd give an example. I mean, if you're, because this does happen particularly in western Kansas counties, but got a person there that's been there for 26 years and then you get somebody new.
Mhm.
I mean, that's obviously not the case here. It's a 2 year
Less work than the guy that left.
But may not be just the input or the
Job
output, but the
description.
knowledge and
scramble to
the
catch
years
up.
spent. I mean,
I mean, I
most
think,
places
Like everybody
take
does.
these, I don't want to say seniority, but take the time factor into consideration because that also shows loyalty to the position.
well, and I think from an HR perspective only, you are paying a new person on the experience and knowledge of the outgoing person. And it's not, in that aspect, it's not different than another professional position. The job expectations are still the same, but your knowledge and ability and efficiency and effectiveness is increased by your years of doing the job and learning how to be more effective. So I think there's an argument on both sides.
Yeah. Well, or you
And it's
know,
always been the
like,
argument every time we've discussed this.
cause the minimum, like say for commissioner is 47,000. I don't know who you know, in this community attracting someone, at that amount would be tough.
Well, and we just looked at,
City
They
commission.
don't do it.
They've got a different
But we actually did have a different pay scale we had
Did we?
commissioners getting paid different
Mhm,
rates at
yeah.
one point.
Yeah.
We did.
yeah,
Right here,
but I
I
think
like-
prior to 20, that was, I believe, when the change was made to pay the same.
Well, we did beat this to death the other days,
Yeah.
but not these changes.
Yeah. Basically, Elizabeth's saying she needs some direction.
Yeah.
I think what we've got's fine.
Yeah, I think it's. Except if we want, the incoming official assume the same salaries of the party, is that what we want to do on the elected?
Now, I think we're talking just commission,
We just,
but
Because we don't really make any classification on that.
we do have a classification, but it is separate than the scale, which I
Yeah.
learned by going through that top to bottom, but so technically we are treated differently outside of that scale, are we not?
Yeah.
You have your own classification.
Right.
pay band.
And that's what makes that argument also valid too, so. It does create some inconsistency within policy, because
Mhm.
not every single person is going to have that consistent basis, but
Most of them, yeah, but also most of them, quite a few of them, the chairman more than the others.
notice that, sweetie.
I don't know if that's because they have to sign so much.
Basically, you're just kind of the kind of person around for the public there on that typically, but I don't make any plans on doing that, because I've seen where you just basically do the same thing, you're just changing people out.
Yeah.
So,
It's just whoever's running the meeting.
right.
Yeah.
It's here.
making some board appointments and that sort of thing.
so the same salary for all of us, it's good.
It's basically the current policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
It needs to be done if that's going to leave it.
Yeah, so that is our current policy. If you guys are in consensus to leave it that way, then we will move forward as such.
So that goes with all elected officials, correct, the current policies.
Yeah, this, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just want to be sure.
So then just looking, and you guys may not have looked at this lately, but we had that reorganization task list. And in what I've been going through, the things that are left are kind of a June to August timeframe of revising the other job descriptions that will go into the administrator's position, continuing to communicate. And then I still have the pay grade discussion for the county clerk, and I did not get enough data back. So I'm still working on that. It still will come to you. If there's anything else, otherwise, I honestly think that we might be at a good spot right now to not necessarily continue to meet every 2 weeks. I need to get you the clerk, but other than that, I think we're in a good, we're on time.
Be a separate conversation outside of this anyway at this point.
What's the schedule in to advertise? I mean, what do you think? How long is it gonna take? I guess it's your best guess.
Yeah, so I've heard Catherine say potentially pushing the timeline back. So as long as we're on the same timeline of hiring and having a person start in January, I would really like to be advertising by September, which means I would really like to have marketing and all of those things done here now in July. So that, I mean, we need to start doing those things, and I need to know what.
Getting the stuff ready, not sending out, but getting it ready.
Yeah, because it's gonna take
Getting
a
a
little
plan
bit.
together of
Yeah.
how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you had recommended working with the chamber, which I completely agree. They have that whole Made for Manhattan program and all the things, so the information of how to bring someone here. But we're going to need to get external marketing assistance. When we had a PIO, the previous PIO able to maybe, she thought she would be able to put some things together. We have a brand new PIO coming in. I think we want something really professionally done, the kind of caliber of candidate that you're thinking of getting. We're going to have to really target. We're going to have to recruit out, or we can hire a consulting firm to find us a an administrator, which is what like the city has done. A lot of counties actually as well do that. The one that's most recent, you know, Saline County is the most recent. They did it all internally. So
I
those are,
think we developed what we need to do. I have faith in everybody. We can find it internally.
I think so.
We spend so
too.
much money in consulting costs.
Yeah, we're trying to keep costs
Yeah.
down, you know.
yeah, I mean, this is a big position. I guess I would recommend as well that we try to recruit using our resources. I do think I need some marketing materials.
I think we should do it.
Well, the reason I was,
We meaning you.
Thanks. You and I, Greg, we're in it. We're going.
but the reason I was saying set it back a bit was to get the IT people
Yeah.
moved out and to get a space for that person to operate out of. So that was the reason I was thinking to set it back. But if we can get all that done within the next 6 months, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But the IT, that remodel supposedly won't be done, like I think it was 190 days, so it's into February, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's you guys have to give me
Mhm.
direction there, because right now we're on a timeline for our target goal is hiring being in place the beginning of January.
Yeah, but we have to have a place to put that.
I
person.
don't disagree. So that's the thing. If we're gonna kind of extend that, I don't want us to be paying someone or contracting someone or have contracted and lost someone because we didn't plan out the space.
Well, we may have to plan for a temporary space.
I
Not for
was thinking the IT where it is,
Yeah.
but that's not, it won't be
Probably not gonna
available.
work, so we're gonna, I think, we've got spaces to go.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay there, even in the temporary.
Yeah, just even for a month or
Yeah.
two till.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so,
Very temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Temporary.
Space.
well, I will be now looking at not only the marketing, I'll get you some proposals or some costs on that, but also whether or not we want to consider a contract for the administrator or a regular employment agreement. So most administrators are contracted, and we'll discuss that. I'll bring that to you to review and understand better.
Oh,
Yeah. I was expecting that.
Yeah, it offers protection to both the employer and the
Yeah.
employee to be able to function in that realm, but. So I will bring that up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stuff in the start of it.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Is that? it?
You want more?
No, more.
You got an executive session in your pocket, Jacob?
I'm sure I can find a reason.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have anything else that I was just gonna add. Due to some citizenry complaint there, we need to make sure people are speaking from the podium and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that they.
They said that they're having some sort of facing problem or something too. I don't know if that's the cameras or not, but
Facing problem?
yeah, like speakers are speaking, they can't. They're not facing the right way. I don't know. I didn't see it when I was on there, yeah. So
I don't know. I'm looking at you now and I'm looking at them, so.
I think when people speak, either they're looking some other direction and online, it doesn't.
Paid attention to that before.
Yeah.
Well, you're not speaking at the microphone when you're podium, you're speaking at us, so I
Yeah.
mean.
So to be clear on what happens is that this is a microphone where these blue lights are, but what we did was essentially did a sound barrier right
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay.
That way we don't pick up any crowd hot mic moments,
That's fun.
things that shouldn't be broadcast. Okay, so you probably will pick up the front row, but back behind you will not. And also, if somebody doesn't come to the podium, then they are not on screen as well to know who it might be. So it is important that they come up to the podium.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
So it'd be good.
That was
And
good.
this-
Assuming that copy.
Good to have that though.
That is correct. They see the dual screen combination just like this. This is what is broadcast.
But they're talking about like right now, Corey's facing us. But
Yeah.
it doesn't face front on the screen.
Well,
People,
That's-
yeah.
Uh,
I would be more concerned with the value of what's being said and not what's being watched there myself, but I'm just passing it along.
Is
Put
there a
it-
way you can?
I'll put a dot on the wall and they gotta, like.
Smile more, please.
Smile more.
Smile more,
Okay.
please.
We'll hold cue cards back there.
Well, if you scoot it that way, you would be out of the picture.
Exactly.
Right.
The
If you
message
scoot
is
it
we
this way,
just,
the angle's still gonna be worse.
we
so
just all need to do better at going to the podium.
Yeah.
Message.
That's the key.
If you're looking in that direction, why aren't you looking at that?
Come on, Corey. Well, I'm sure there's some speakers that are looking at 1 and 2 of the screen, so it goes the opposite way. That's true.
The podium
Yeah.
camera is over there on that pillar.
Oh, there, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, because
And
there's,
the commission camera is up here.
And I'm wondering if part of that didn't have to do with maybe one of our county officials luncheons or something too.
Now, correct, when we rearrange the room for county officials, then we take both cameras and we do a split of the room. And so that might be where it was faces not seen or something, but I
guess-
I can't fix that.
Just out of curiosity, then how are we gonna turn the mics on for those particular meetings? How here?
And so the
Hmm.
question,
Yeah.
the
Point.
question there is that, yes, what we're gonna do is work on the programming that when we change the button over here on this side, then it will open up that mic
Okay.
to the whole room.
That's what I kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
okay,
Yep.
Okay.
this is.
Aren't you glad you're here still?
Glad to be every day.
I don't have anything else.
Smile.
I guess that with in mind, then I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn the June 25th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the June 25th meeting of the Raleigh County Commission. All in favor?